guys, what's up? Today we have another Boresighter, another little thing from Feyachi to check out, look at, make a little video about. Let's do it. Alright, so yes, before we really get into this, Feyachi sent me this to make videos about, alright? I did one on the 9mm, I'm not sure when exactly that one came out. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, these are little Boresighters that, in this particular one, works with a 223-556 chambered firearm, right? I've done one for the 9mm, but this one's for 223-556. And like I said, this was sent to me, did not pay for this. I received this in order to make video content. So, if what I say, if you need to take that with a grain of salt, knowing that I did not buy this, do that. Take it with a grain of salt, and pepper, and whatever else you want to put in it. Do that. But as always, I would give you my honest opinion. If this is good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad, and I'm going to tell you guys about it. First thing we're going to do, let's open it up, check it out. This looks like a cartridge, right? Piece of brass, a bullet, whatever you want to call it. But this is just a laser, and the outside of it is shaped like a 5.56 case or cartridge, all right? It's not a bullet. It comes with three, and they're already assembled like battery packs. These are little button cell batteries, and it requires 3 batteries per pack. Now, if you get one of these, read the instructions and stuff, because before I was trying to split these things open, and then they're all falling apart, that was weird. They're all falling apart, and I was trying to stack them inside of the laser, and I realized this comes as a packet. You use the whole packet. You don't cut these things open and separate it. So to use this guy, you basically unscrew the back of it. It's kind of like a battery cap, and there is no on and off button. So this does not come with batteries installed, or else they just burn out, right? So there is no on and off button. Once you install the battery, put the guy in there, put this guy in here, you should be able to see there's a green laser floating around, right? So once this guy is installed with the battery, he's on. He's on, you can't turn it off. The only way to turn it off is to take the battery out. This one's green. The other ones we've had before are red, so I'm not sure if this guy will last longer. One thing to note, I mean, it does come with 3 sets of batteries. These batteries do not last very long. On the inside of here, I mean, it even says on the inside of here, it doesn't give a time, but it's a, 5 milliwatt laser, 30 to 300 yards. Dot size is 1 inch. At 50 yards. That is a good thing to note. I'm glad they put that in there. I don't think usually people put those things in those. Did they do that in the other ones? This is the 9mm one. This would be interesting. They did! Haha! It's the same thing. It's the same laser, basically. Pretty much the same laser. I can't talk right now. But same thing. 1 inch at 50 yards. That's good to know. So now that we have a little laser going on, let's grab a rifle. Here we go. Let's grab a... well, which one should we use? Let's use this one, right? Because I know this guy is sighted in. And I'm going to be pointing it back at this wall right here. And I'm going to try to show you the relation between the dot that is sighted in, the optic that's sighted in, and the laser going down the bore. They're not going to match because this gun is not sighted in at 3 feet, okay? It's not going to. Before we do that, though, let's do this. Before we do that, let's check to see if this laser is concentric. Now, something that these particular kind of Boresighters are plagued with is not being concentric, meaning the case, the laser looking, or the bullet looking thing is made concentric. It's not bent or anything like that, but sometimes the laser on the inside, even though the case may be pointed directly this way, or if I'm facing the camera, directly this way, the case is facing this way, the laser on the inside can be canted a little bit, so that the case and the barrel might be facing this way, but the laser's pointing off a little bit. That's something that can happen. So one way you can check a little bit, it's not 100% scientific, one way you can check is to get a drill, you open it up, you get your laser, you stick it inside your drill, you slowly, you're not trying to crimp or crush or do anything, you're just trying to tighten things up a little bit, right? So tighten it up, and you should... okay, so now we have the laser over there. If I pull the trigger on the drill, the laser should basically stay still. It shouldn't be wobbling all over the place, okay? Sure, this guy is on. Here we go. All right, so there's a little wiggle. As you can see, there's a little wiggle, but it is not as bad as I have seen other ones perform. Sometimes these things are so off, it's just not even worth trying to use them, right? This guy's a little bit better than some of the other ones. So, all right, unlike the 9mm cartridge style looking Boresighters that we've had, you cannot just simply load, or at least in my firearms and my stuff, you cannot simply just load the laser into a magazine and feed it into the firearm. You can't do that. So in order to do it, I'm going to lock the bolt back, right? I'm going to take the laser, place it down in the chamber, make sure he falls down in there, all right? And then I'm going to slowly release the charging handle home. Now, will it actually, yep, it'll actually chamber, right? So everything's locked up, the bolt's locked up and everything's in there. And you can see there's a laser on the wall now. Now I'm gonna point it over there, turn on my dot, okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. Let's get behind the camera and I'll show you kind of what I'm seeing. There we go. There it is. Okay, so there, you can see it. I'm probably just going to either screenshot or do something to where you can see that, okay? Alright, so basically at this distance, obviously those two lines are not matching up. The laser on the wall and the red dot in the scope, those are not going to match because I'm not zeroed at 2 feet, 3 feet away. Right? You need it 0 at whatever distance you particularly need. Most of the time people do 50 yards or 100 yards or 36 yards or some special whatever distance. That's generally where people will sight in, not at 2 feet away. But the main thing I wanted to show you there is there should be the red dot, and then directly underneath it there should be the laser from the Boresighter. If the laser's way off one way or way off the other way, that's a pretty good sign that it's not exactly lined up, all right? Now, the purpose of a laser Boresighter is to help you sight in your optic quicker and easier. I guess proper English. That's the purpose of them. You do not use a laser Boresighter, put it in your firearm, match the laser on the Boresighter to the optic, or match the optic to your Boresighter. You know, line your crosshairs or your red dot on your scope to the laser and just call it good. Don't do that. If you do that, I almost guarantee you when you go to hunt, go to shoot, go to compete in competitions or whatever you use your firearm for, when you go to shoot the gun, you're not going to hit at what you're aiming in general, all right? What these are very good for, are supposed to be very good for, are for getting on paper quicker. So you go in your garage or in a safe space, wherever your safe space is, with an unloaded firearm, you put the laser Boresighter in the firearm, and you basically align your optic to the laser, right? At least your left and right. You want your red dot in general, the scope, the crosshairs, the dot, your reticle, to be a couple inches above your laser if you're at like 10 feet or something like that. And then when you get to the range, right, and you go to actually shoot the firearm, obviously take the laser out, and then when you go to shoot, you will more than likely be close, right? You will be close. Your bullets will hit the paper that has the target that you're shooting on. It should, if everything works out properly, and you should be able to just make a few adjustments, and then you're sighted in. If you don't use some kind of a Boresighter, or simply just use your eyeball, look down the bore this way, not down the bore, but through the bore. That's old school bore sighting, right, without a laser. If you don't do some kind of bore sighting, whether it be with your eye or with a laser, you're going to have to shoot more rounds, spend more money, basically, to get your bullets going where you want them to go. Basically, that's a very complicated way to say these can, if they work properly, save you time and save you some money. Right? If they work properly. If they don't work properly, then you may as well not even use it. So this looks like it is close, right? That's what it looks like, it's close. There's only way to tell for me is to really take this guy out and actually shoot it. I don't have time to do that right now, but at some point I will. These are not supposed to be tunable, so these are supposed to come concentric. Remember we did that wobble thing? They're supposed to come with the laser true, meaning pointing straight down where the cartridge, basically, not pointing off one way or the other, right? They're supposed to come that way. So, like I said, take what I say with a grain of salt. I have not used these personally to sight in my firearms yet. I haven't had a new firearm to use yet. I do have one on this firearm right here that I hopefully will be able to sight in before too long, and we'll actually be able to test this whole, all these cartridge things that we got, we'll be able to test them out, all right, these laser Boresighters. So anyway, that's a lot of words and information. I'm not sure it all came out right, but basically what I'm trying to say is this is an option, right? A laser Boresighter, this is an option to use to try to save you some time and some money when it comes to sighting in your firearms. It's not a training aid. This will not 100% zero your firearm. Don't think that. I think there's a lot of people out there that probably use these for that. It's not used for that. It gets you on paper, and then you need to go out and shoot the firearm and zero it in and actually sight it in, right? This is like a bonus first step that you can do that you don't have to do, but you can do, right? And if you want to use these things, there you go. Feyachi has some. They're hit and miss from as far as I can tell. Sometimes I've gotten some where the laser's off. Sometimes I've gotten them where the laser's on. They have worked well with me in the past before, even though, yes, they send me the stuff and I didn't pay for it, but I showed them one that was way off, a laser Boresighter that was way off, and they worked with me to send me one and that was a lot better. It wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better than the first one that they had sent me that was way off. So if you were to purchase one of these and you did that wobble test on a laser and it's obviously not pointed straight, it's all making big circles when you turn on the drill, it wouldn't hurt to reach out to them and say, hey, my laser's off. This thing is not working. I need another one. They better stand by their, they're not just their product, but their customers and help you out. I would think they would. They did. They helped me out. Again, I didn't buy it. They're trying to work with me. So hopefully that helps you guys out. And if anybody has these things, right, these laser Boresighters, and has those issues, hopefully that information will help you out. All right, that's enough. That's enough. I can't think of anything else to say about these things. Read between the lines if you need to read between the lines. Take what I say with a grain of salt, and pepper and paprika and everything else that you want to take with a grain of, if you are so inclined. That's it. I do believe I have an Amazon link to these. If I do, it's going to be down below in the description. If you are so inclined, I have no idea if that's an affiliate link. I'm not trying to sell this. I'm just making a video. That's all I'm doing. So I'm going to take I'm going to take the batteries out so they don't run out. That is the Achilles heel. These batteries do not last very long. And put this guy away for next time I go to the range. That's it. Y'all be good to be safe. Appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, and everything. And hopefully, catch you guys in the next video. See ya.